Well, this is a real complete win for us today. Across the board, all phases worked well. Everybody got to play. It was really fun to see our guys get a chance to get out there and get some real play time. Real solid performance across the board, you know, with in all areas. Third downs were good. Red zone was good. You saw another day of the defense coming out here. This is getting going now, and it's pretty clear that we've made a big turn. And that was a dominating day today. And those guys put on yards and stuff on everybody, and we just didn't let them today. I think a big day by Russ. Russ was on it. He's completed everything and 4 big touchdowns and all, and got him out of there in the fourth quarter, which is great. That's rare. When they think about how few times we've ever done that. But it was good that Gino got a chance to get on the field. But to go back to the defensive side, there's a lot of guys that are really playing like crazy together, and you can see it happening. This is, you know, just throw the weeks together. A few sacks again today. Good pass defense. Really should have had 4 turnovers today. We really had the ball in our hands. But I'm just really fired up that at this time of year we're playing our best football, and it's going to make a difference if we're going to have a chance to do something special this year. It's going to be because the defense has really turned it around and put us in this kind of position. So. We know that we can score points. We know we can do that on offense, but to put this together like this is really a big deal to us. So pleased to get that done. Oh, and let me mention too that you know, we don't give game balls around here. We just haven't done that. We do other things, but we don't do that. But today, with the record that Jamal Adams set with being the all-time ever sacker as a defensive back, it was just worthy of a game ball to commemorate it. And what a fantastic football player. He's just an incredible player, and I mean, he's not done yet. He's going to get some more numbers before the season's over. But, and you know, there's a little, you know, emotional side of it too, because he, you know, against the Jets and just the team he played for, it's not a big deal, but there's something when you play for another club and all that, there's something special. I know I feel it all the time too. So I'm really proud for him and happy for him. And first thing he did was thank everybody and give credit to everybody around him, which is the humble guy that he's been since he got here. So really pleased about that. Okay, sorry, I'll stop yapping.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Pete, as you mentioned, a really complete performance. How confident are you after seeing this that your team can do this against a team that's better than the Jets?
Well, obviously they're struggling, you know, and we should, if we, the statement that you make there is, you know, if you respect the process that you go through and you focus and you do your work, it doesn't matter who you play. And we've talked like that all the time. And if you play a team that's struggling, you should beat them. You should beat them handily. And we were able to do that today. And that's a statement about everybody connected, everybody tuned in. I'm really pleased to get that done. Will we do it again? I don't know. We'll see. We're playing good defense though, and we're on it. And that gives us a chance.
You mentioned you don't do game balls usually. You said you do other things. What are the other things that you do?
We recognize guys in our meetings and stuff like that, and we've always done things.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Curtis Crabtree.
Yeah, Pete, talking about the defense, going back to the second half of the Rams game, you guys have made strides pretty much every week to continue to get better on top of it. To have the group where it is now, the performance you had today, just how big of a stride is that for you guys on that side of the ball?
I think it's a big deal. I really do. I mean, we'll find out. You know, we got to ride out and see what happens here. We did without Carlos today. You know, he needed another week to get his foot ready and all that. And he's been a big part of it. So I like that other guys could respond in his place. But I think it's really significant, but it's only as significant as the next week we go out and play again, you know. And so we're going to DC, and we got to figure out how to do it over there. So.
And what happened with Brandon Shell? How's his ankle?
Yeah, he tweaked it a couple times, and then it was just one too many times. It was really studly of him just to go out and play. So it's gonna be a touch and go week. I don't know what's gonna happen next weekend coming up. But I was really proud of him. He really wanted to play in this game, and you know, he's got a smile on his face today, but he's gonna be pretty sore tomorrow.
John Boyle.
Pete, I know you guys have a lot still out there that you're playing for, but today's win gives you a winning record again this year. That's 9 straight years with a winning record. Just what kind of accomplishment is that in this league where parity's kind of the norm?
Well, not worthy of a game ball, obviously, but that's a good thing, you know. It's a good thing, you know. There's nothing I love more than consistently being on it, and to me that's where I take the most pride in my work, that we can show that we can come back year after year after year and do good stuff. And so that's a good marker. There's 3 big opportunities coming up we need to.
Bob Condotta.
Yeah, Pete, with Russell, looked like there was a lot of, quick, shorter passes maybe this week and all that. Was that a little bit of a plan or emphasis going into this one, or just like
No, we thought, with not knowing what Frank Bush was going to do, we wanted to make sure that we got the ball out of Russ's hands, and as they unveiled the plan, and just stayed with the quick rhythm stuff, which is always good ball, and Russ is great at quick rhythm stuff, and we just took advantage of it today.
And did you like DK Metcalf's celebration after the touchdown, or?
I didn't see it, but I hope it was worthy of a penalty. I don't know about that.
Tim Booth.
Pete, you talked about the rarity of pulling Russell early in a game. Was that strange for you to have those conversations? And was there even conversation earlier about getting Geno in there?
Yeah, I told Geno, I don't know, early in the second half, get ready. We're going to try to get you out there. So it was already in my mind, but really we don't have a format for doing it. Just haven't done it in the last 10 years, and very many times. But we had some backup guys going in up front, and so it was time to go ahead and make the switch. Russ was great about it, and Geno was thrilled to have a chance to play, as all the guys were. Geno's a good ball player. We just haven't had, you don't get a look at him. So it's really important to get those snaps, and so I'm thrilled that we got to do that. I'm just so happy for the fellas.
Larry Stone.
Here's Larry.
Sorry about that. Russ took some uncharacteristic criticism last week for his game. Do you think he responds to that sort of thing? And what did you like most about his performance today?
Russ is a great competitor. He is a world-class competitor, and he's going to bounce back even when you might have thought he played a great game, because he's so tough on himself. So I'm not surprised by it. I'm glad that he had a really great game today. Moving forward, this is, we really are kicking into this fourth quarter thing here, and we want to play great football right now as we finish the season off, and he needs to do his part just as everybody does, and so I'm really glad that he was able to have a day like that.
Greg Bell.
Hi, Pete. What in particular, Pete, is reassuring you about the defense? Pass defense, knocking down balls, stopping the run. What is most reassuring you?
Yeah, well, first off, there's real consistency happening here, scheme-wise, how we're placing our guys and what we're asking them to do. Our guys are really on their game, and you can see it. I told you a few weeks ago about we took a step forward in terms of accountability and awareness, and just really embracing what we're asking them to do with the principles and all. And so that in itself gives us a chance to make the adjustments that we have to make to stay in the game, to fix things as we need to fix them, and meanwhile play really hard and aggressive and tough at the line of scrimmage, and I know we had a bad week last week with the numbers in the running game, but our rush defense is the best it's been all season, and our pass rush is the best it's been all season, and so it just fits that other things are going to happen. It's a shame. We had 4 turnovers today in our hands, and we come up with 1. That would have been a day that we really would have been talking about. They come in bunches, and it was because of the pressure. It was because of the pass rush and the heat and the pressuring and all of that. I think Kenny's doing a fantastic job of mixing stuff, putting guys in the right positions, using the right guys. Bobby was a real factor today. Jamal, again, a factor, and he's finding a way to really mix these guys and put them in at their strengths. KJ has some really good plays today on the edge as he's been playing, and so it's all of that really. I think that adds up to and it's go back to the consistency. That's really crucial.
Looking back, Pete, was it all so new in September and October? Scheme, players, blitzing more. Was it just all so new?
Really great. We hadn't settled in with our players. We just didn't have it just didn't feel like it. And I do think it had to do with the offseason. I do think it had to do with camp, and then it had to do with new guys, and it had to do with unique new guys that bring special skills, and we had to figure them out. And then they were in and out of the lineup, and there just wasn't the continuity that we needed. As soon as we started coming back with the same guys, you could see it happening, and we could see the potential of it. And we kept talking to you about the potential of it. We just needed the time. time. And so, I mean, look at the scores around the league again. The scores were down. There's some big games played on defense again. And there's a turn happening around the league. It took us all a long time. We're no different than some of the other teams.
Art Teal.
Pete, getting back to Russell's quicker release, was that something you can work on in practice in 1 week, or is that more of a function of play call?
No, it's style of play. It's the style of the plays, and you know, it's not Russell throwing the ball quicker. It's just what we're asking him to do. There's a lot more quick game involved, and quick. It calls for the ball to get out right now. Russ can do everything, but it's not a question of we finally told him how to get the ball out. It's not like that. It's just play selection, style, and stuff that really fit the game plan and worked out great. Remember, this was a game we didn't know what they were going to do. They could have done anything in this game plan and played man-to-man the whole time or played 3 deep or 2 deep. They didn't do, you know, they did their stuff, and as they did it, our coaches unveiled it and figured it out, and away we went. So I thought that was a really, really good job by Shadi and the guys on offense.
Joe Fan.
Pete, just for clarification, did Jamal get a game ball, or are you saying you don't do a game ball, you just gave him love?
I must have done a really bad job of that. He did get a game ball. Yeah, like I can't even remember giving a game ball out, except for maybe to Paul Allen or something like that. I don't know, you know, I can't remember, but so it was a unique time. But I thought when the all-time ever record was set today, to me, that's big time.
And then just curious, what quarter you maybe felt you had that game won today?
Until it's, you know, somewhere in there, you saw us starting to substitute, you know, whenever. I don't know why you're asking that question, but somewhere we started substituting, I think right around the end of the third quarter. We thought we had enough room where we could get some guys out of there, give guys a chance to play and all that.
Thanks. Brady Henderson.
Pete, what do you think of Jamal's game aside from the sack there? He had the interception that he would be interception. What do you think of the game he played?
Yeah, the plays that went in his area where he had a chance to make the plays, he was pretty much on it. He's been very consistent the last 3-4 weeks, and he's really gained command of what we're asking him to do. And there's a lot to it, what he does. But they fit up the runs. He rushed for 60 yards, so everybody did well. And they ran the ball at the tight end side quite a bit where he was, so he did a good job today.
Corbin Smith.
Hey, Pete, you were mentioning the run defense being as good as it's been at any point this season. How much is Damon Harrison playing into that? It seemed like he had easily his best game for you guys since you signed him today.
What we're asking Snacks to do, you know, he's playing on the center and playing, you know, really reading the center and playing right in there in the middle is exactly the best thing that he can do. It happens to fit the scheme really well, so he's really a good fit for that. If he wasn't doing it, somebody else was. Brian Monet was doing it early for us and sharing time with Puna Ford, and so there's a lot of things happening. I told you about Carlos Dunlap fitting the defense. It fits really well. It fits the nose tackle really well. It fits. Look how well KJ fits playing outside on the edge for us now, Jamal and all that. So there's a lot of really good things that Kenny and the fellas have done on defense to make it come together, to highlight the special qualities that the guys have, and that always helps you, you know, and it helps you be consistent too.
And Jackie Montgomery.
Coach, this is one of the best performances by the run game. What did you think of your backs?
I thought they run so hard. I love the way our guys run. They're both really, when early in the game when Chris was going and Carlos was going, they rip at the line of scrimmage, and it's exactly what we want to, the message we want to send. It's the style we want to play with, and I'm in heaven. I mean, I love it. This is the way we like the ball, and 170 something for the day, and throwing off it and all that, and you know, that's Seahawks football.
And last one for Coach Masvidal.
Hey Pete, going back to Jamal Adams, how much of a challenge is it for a player when you play in your old team to stay within the scheme you guys call and not even realize he's playing the Jets, but he's playing an offense?
I'm glad you brought it up because I hadn't said anything about it. That all week long he was poised and had everything in command. He brought it to last night's meeting. He brought it to the game today, and his performance showed that. He played like a real star. You know, he did not let any of whatever could have, you know, bubbled up affect him in any way. He just was focused and had fun playing football. And of course, it's especially fun to beat your old team. And that's just facts. And but he handled it really well, like as good as you could have.
Thanks.
So one last one. Mark Cannizzaro.
efficiently enough to
Hey, Pete.
win the game.
How you doing? Just had a question for you. I know it's lifetimes removed for you being here in New York, but when you look at what's taking place with the Jets, do you, as a coach, do you have any empathy for what's, just, 0-13 and potential of 0-16 and all that kind of thing? What's your emotion when you see that? I know you had a game to win today and you took care of business, but when you step away from it, what do you think?
I mean, I love this game, and I love coaches, and I love players, and I hate to see anybody have to suffer through what that is. And we all care so much. Those guys care just as much as we do about winning and playing and all of that. And it's heartbreaking to play this game and have to suffer through that kind of a year. And so it reminds me of the year after I got fired in New York. But Rich Samini can document that for you. But it's a terrible thing to have to endure. And we had a horrible year up in Buffalo years back, and it's just such an ugly season, because you just want to have fun, you want to enjoy the game, you want to do good things, and so I was aware of it, during the week and going in, and I mean I was hoping we would play like that, but during the game it was obvious. It's just tough on them, it's just hard to make it through it. So I get it.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Okay, see ya.
Testing, testing. What's up, y'all?
John Boyle, you have a question for KJ Wright?
I do. KJ, your defense now, it's been a few weeks, probably going back to about week 10 where you guys seem to be getting better every week. Just what's clicked for you guys? How good do you feel about the way you're playing going into these final few games?
Yeah, these last few weeks have been excellent. We're just playing really good team ball. The communication is on point. The eliminating explosive plays have been on point, and we just really playing together. I just love the way that we have our Saturday night meetings where we all just talk about what's our assignment, you know, what's expected of your position when the play is called. And so it's looking really good, and we just got to continue. It's going to be important down this last stretch as we head into the playoffs that we just keep this chemistry going.
Greg Bell.
Hi, KJ. We all wrote about the meeting before. I think it was the Arizona game. Was that the start, and you guys have just done it every week since?
Yeah, I believe that it's just when you hear guys talk, you hear guys understand what's expected of them, you know, that just starts to build a connection, it just builds a chemistry. And so I personally love it. I think the guys love it. And you can just feel the energy start to connect with one another the night before the game. And so it's definitely showing up on Sundays. When you got 3 points, that looks really good. And so we got to keep it going. Got Washington next week, and so got to finish strong.
How much does Puna Ford owe you for breaking up your interception?
When it first happened, I was like, I messed Puna up. But I went and looked at the replay. It was kind of like we was both there at the same time. So I don't feel as bad as I did during the game. But you know, two guys going for the ball, and Puna's like, Unc. He called me Unc. He's like, Unc, that would have been my first interception. So, you know, next week we got to make sure it happens for him.
Thank you.
Bob Condotta.
Hey, KJ, the way you lost, the team lost last week to the Giants, there was a lot of panic among the fan base and stuff like that, at least. How did you guys take that as players? Was there any really wanting to try to get back and make sure you don't, take these guys lightly or anything like that? Or
Yeah, whether you win or lose, you got to just make sure you respond. And this team, we know how to handle losses. We know how to handle wins. And so we got back to the drawing board. Nobody got to pointing fingers or blaming one another. We bounced back, and we bounced back against a Jets team. And so whether you win or lose, you got to make sure you stay consistent, understand you got to keep the same process, and just got to finish.
Michael Sean.
Hey, KJ, Pete says he's really encouraged by how consistent you guys have been in the last, I don't know how many weeks. Is that the thing that stands out to you most as well?
Yeah, man, it's something we preach every drive we go out there, every play we're out there communicating, and consistent teams, they tend to separate themselves, in December. And so we got to keep it going. This team is just full of great leadership. This team is hungry, and we clicking at the right time. And so perfect timing. We just got to make sure we keep it going and, head to these playoffs.
Now, you played with some great DBs in your career. How unique is it just to see Jamal get sacks the way he does?
That's impressive, man. It's just got the game ball after the game, and to break an NFL record that's never been done before with 3 games left. It's just, it's amazing to just be by his side and to play with him. He's a guy that works his tail off, and I'm so glad that he's on our team. And so he's just getting started, and I'm extremely happy for him.
Thanks.
Curtis Crabtree.
Yeah, KJ, I know you guys believed you had more in the tank defensively, but they're sitting there at midseason when you guys were, on pace to have the worst pass defense of all time and such, to come to the point where you are now, the last 4 or 5 games. How sweet is it, and how big of a stride forward is it for you guys?
Yeah, as you saw, it was rough in the beginning. It was rough. We all felt it, and we got it corrected. Hats off to Coach Carroll for, his leadership and addressing it, and Coach Norton addressing things and just putting us in position to be successful. And so we figured it out, and we got to know that we got to eliminate these explosive plays, put the ball down in the middle to where we can just force up and rally and tackle it. And we got back to Seahawks football. And so, like I said, when bad things happen, we have great leadership in this building to where we get things figured out, and got to keep it going.
Brady Henderson.
KJ, how's the move to strong side linebacker going? I know you would prefer to play weak side, but how's it going on the other side?
You know what? I've made a few plays tonight, so and I've been making a few plays all season, and so it's going good. It's going good. I'm definitely showing my versatility. Been playing Will my whole life. Play Sam on first and second down, go to Will on third down, and so I'm making it happen. It's going good.
along similar lines, I think you said when you signed your last contract that you would get to 10 years and then you would evaluate what's next. With the way that you're playing and with as healthy as you seem to be, do you allow yourself to get a head start on thinking beyond this year?
That's a tough question, but yeah, I got my goal, man. I'm playing really good, and so when this happens, I'm gonna sit back and see what's next for me. But as of now, I'm looking really good, so I'm pretty happy that year 10 is going in the right direction.
Thanks.
AJ McCord.
Hey, KJ. So you talked about this just a little bit, but you've been on some really good defenses, and it seems like no matter the team, no matter the sport, accountability is one of the things that makes a team really elite. How much do you think the accountability has been enhanced in these meetings that you guys are having, and who sort of led the charge on making sure that that accountability happened?
Yeah, well, Norton led the charge, and he led it by just, hey, guys, what do you have in this particular defense? What are you thinking in this defense? Tell us what you're thinking when the Jets come out in 11 personnel. And just hearing guys just speak and talk, and guys are on it. Guys know what they're doing. Guys are just confident. And you can just see that when we step on the football field, I know that the man beside me knows what is going on. And so that just builds that trust, and that just builds that accountability. And when we see it on the football field, we just, great job. We knew that was coming. And so hats off to Coach Norton, the way that he puts us in position to, first of all, just speak in public and just share with your teammates. And then when it happens on the football field, we already spoken into existence.
And when that happens on the football field, how much more does it get guys to want to invest and buy in fully to this idea?
Yeah, guys are doing it. Guys are doing it. They can see that it's happening. It's happening, and it's coming to life. And I trust every man out there on the football field because I've heard them speak on what their assignment is and what the opponents go do to us. And so it's going good, and we just got to make sure we keep it going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last one for KJ, Masvidal.
Hey, KJ, on the accountability, how much of the messaging is about you have to do it Monday to Sunday? You just don't walk on, on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, guys know that, man. You win the football game throughout the week. You don't win the football on Sunday. You do win the football game on Sunday, but you got to put yourself in position to be successful. And guys understand that film study. Guys understand that if you don't know what's going on, and when you get to speaking, it's going to show. And so it's just making sure guys are accountable, guys are preparing. You got to learn how to be a pro as soon as you get into this league. And so it starts with taking care of your body. It starts with film study. And it starts with just being a really good teammate and being, successful out there on the football field.
So when guys are calling you uncle, is that you old or that's just respect?
It's a combination. They started calling me Unc about 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, my goodness. But, I'll take it. It's a respect thing.
Thanks.
Thank you, KJ.
All right, thank y'all. Yeah, one of those.
You guys hear me? You good? John Boyle.
Yeah, Russ, just after the offense had a few struggles last couple weeks, how good did it feel to get back out and function at this kind of level?
Well, I thought that, we were really on top of it. Our tempo was great. We were in and out of the huddle. We were making plays. Guys were getting a great job catching the football. DK had a great game. Swain made his touchdown. That was awesome. He's been working extremely hard. Demo scoring his touchdown. Disley getting back in the end zone. Obviously, Chris Carson had an unbelievable day. And Carlos was running hard too. So it was just a great thing, a collective effort on offense. We all were doing our part. I think also too, as well, the offensive line did a tremendous job of trying to slow those guys down. Their rush defense was really good, and they're also with our pass game. They tried to do a lot of different coverage, a lot of different looks, a lot of different things, and we were all over it.
You mentioned last week, kind of when the offense and defense get going at the same time, you guys can be dangerous. Is this kind of what this team can look like if both sides are?
Yeah, it felt kind of like, I go back to 2012, that moment where we kind of had some, where the offense and defense were really married up together. And I think we went to Buffalo, and then I think we came back home maybe against Arizona or something like that. But we just felt like we were all together, and there were so many other plays that we could have had, on both sides. We felt like too. So we just we stayed the course. We had a great week of practice. We were ready. We were prepared. We took on the challenge, kept our heads down, and just stayed focused on what we needed to do and execution. And it was a great day today.
Michael Sean.
Hey, Russ, the receivers gave DK an all-expense trip for his birthday, I guess. Were you in on that too, or do you get him something else for his birthday tomorrow?
No, that's all the receivers. That's all the receivers. I've taken DK to Cabo, Mexico. I'll give him another trip maybe one other day soon. that was all receivers.
Thanks.
Yep.
Bob Condotta.
Yeah, Russell. So what was it like just watching for the final quarter? It's been a long time since you haven't had to play in a game.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because Austin, quarterback coach Austin, came up to me and said we're going to let Gino go in, and then Coach Carroll came up as soon as that was happening too. And it was, I don't know, probably 3 minutes to go in the third, maybe even more. I don't know, but it was still a third quarter, so that's definitely rare. And Gino deserves it. He's worked extremely hard. He's been a great friend, a great quarterback. And just great to have in the room. He has so much knowledge of the game, and I love him to death. He's, like I said, he's a great friend. He works so hard every day. He definitely deserves to get in there and make plays for us, and he did a really good job when he was in there.
Tim Booth.
Hey, Russ, 2 things. Did Brian let you call any plays in the fourth quarter like the preseason in the past? Did you have a drive you get the call? And then it seemed like it was more of a concerted effort that with some shorter throws or quicker throws earlier in the game. Was that, how much of the game plan was that today?
To the play calling thing, I didn't call any plays in the fourth. Shotty was calling those. He was on it all day. He had called a great game, Coach Shotty did. He's tremendous on his stuff, and he was really ready for this week and ready to roll. So we had a great week of prep. In terms of our game plan, we knew that obviously with new defensive coordinator, everything else, we knew they were going to do a lot of different things probably, and we weren't really sure what they were going to stick to. And sure enough, they did everything. I mean, they blitzed, they rolled coverages, they played 2, they played 3, they played 33 Tampa Cloud. They did all these different things, all these different coverages, man to man. They pressured and brought the safety. So they did a lot of different things, which we're used to seeing teams that try to challenge in coverages and stuff like that. And so we were on top of it. I think we mixed up our game plan. We in terms of running and passing and throwing it quick and throwing it deep and throwing it in between. And we hit some really good things. I think Tyler had some key third down conversions. That was huge. We did a really good job on third down to be able to do. I think we were 5 or 7 or something like that on third down, early on. I think that was key, just to keep getting those first downs. And then anytime we get in the red zone, let's light it up and run it, throw it, let's score touchdowns. And one of the things I always tell the guys, touchdowns only, so making sure we're scoring touchdowns, and that was really key for us today.
Joe Fan.
Russ, was there any sort of mindset shift in this game, whether it's tempo, trying to pour it on, or was it strictly an execution thing?
Mind shift from what? What do you mean, Joe? Just so I'm understanding, just so I answer.
Just in terms of just a mindset of trying to go more tempo, get to the line, move, keep things going, and then, just keeping the foot on the gas, so to speak.
Yeah, I think there was what we wanted to do is, stay on the gas. We wanted to keep the tempo. in and out of the huddle. If you notice, I was kind of going a little bit quicker, and making sure that we were getting all the plays. I was at the line of scrimmage calling plays, and I think that always helps us. I think that we really challenged. I think we had an amazing 2-minute drive too. We went up right down the field. Those moments are really good for us, I think, too, as well. It really challenges the defense, especially when they want to be multiple and do all these different things. I think it really makes it difficult for them too, as well. More so than anything else. And I think we got such great receivers and tight ends and running backs that it really makes it difficult for them. And so I think the tempo thing was really a concerted effort. I think also too, as well, for us just to execute and do things right and be on it and be on it and be on it, make all the right calls, and everybody just be on time and on the money and just make our plays. And we did that for pretty much the whole night.
Larry Stone.
Yeah, Russell, you were maybe under a little more scrutiny this week after last week's performance. Did you feel that and feel like you had to respond to that? And how do you feel about your performance overall?
I don't really worry about the scrutiny. I think more than anything else, it's part of the job, I guess, right? It's when you want to be the best in the world, if you don't have your best day, people are going to say you're not the best in the world that day, So it's part of the process. I think you just keep believing. You keep just striving for greatness. Keep striving for making the next shot, the next moment, the next play, the next game, the next win. And stay simple-minded in that sense. I don't get too high, get too low. I told you guys all the time, I remain neutral. I know there's going to be great days, a lot more great days than tough days. But when we do have a tough day, there's a better day ahead. And so I think that's my whole thing around the neutral mindset part of it for me. I don't waver. I know who I am. I know what kind of player I am. I know the consistency that I bring. I know how much work and how many hours of film I spend on it. I know how many times I get up early in the morning every day, and all I do is think about the game and how we process. And so, this is what I love to do. And if anybody's a critic, of anything, it's me more than anything else. I always want to be the best. You want to make every play, make every throw, make every moment. And it's not going to always happen. But I'm going to move on to the next one. And I think that's one of the things that I definitely do a really good job of is, I'm not going to waver. I'm always going to move on to the next moment, move on to the next situation, move on to the next game, and win or lose. And we've won a lot, so I definitely know how to do that. And I don't like losing, that's for sure. I hate losing. But it's part of the process sometimes, and I think it continues to build you up. And so I think that the biggest thing for us is, I was reading, I'm not trying to get all biblical on you guys, but I was reading the scripture this morning, and Jesus says, don't be afraid, just believe. And so to me, it's like one of those things that, you can't be afraid trying to be great, in life. If you ever want to be successful, whatever you want to do, there's going to be some tough moments along the way. There's going to be some things, but, just believe, and so that's just kind of been my mentality. And I'm just grateful that God's given me the opportunity to do it.
Curtis Crabtree.
Yeah, Russell, the four touchdowns today, you passed your own record for most in franchise history. What does that mean to you, if anything? And then on top of that, how much can a game like this kind of just re-springboard the offense from a confidence standpoint to get you guys back rolling again?
Well, I think our offense is feeling great about what we're doing. I think we had a tough game last week. Obviously, we felt like we were getting in the groove. We played Arizona. We won against them, played really well. We went to the Eagles. We felt like we had some more touchdowns in there. We had probably 3 more touchdowns in that game. So that would have really catapulted us. And then obviously we had the tough one last week. But I think that, it's like I said, we can't get too high, too low. Obviously, to be able to throw 4 touchdown passes, and then obviously for us to run one too, Chris, that was huge for us, and just keep that momentum going. So we're excited about where we are. We're excited about where we're headed, and we got a tough game this upcoming week, obviously, with the Redskins and all that. And so it'll be a great matchup, and so we got a lot of respect for them. And I know Coach Ron Rivera, he's as good as it gets at the game. So, we know it'll be a battle, but I think that we're going to enjoy this tonight. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to, and just be with our families and stuff like that. But just, I think it's a great time just to stay focused on the mission. And the mission is to win it all. And there's no easy trip. There's no easy game. There's no easy moment. Every game is a championship game, and we'll be prepared. We'll be ready, and we'll keep going.
Art Teal.
Russ, your longest completion was 20 yards, but you killed it on the intermediate routes. How much of that was design?
I think that they were playing for some of the deep routes. They were trying to, cover all the deep stuff. So we just, hit everything intermediate and stuff like that. And that's what we can do. We can do it all. We can hit the short stuff. We can hit the intermediate game. We can hit the long game. We almost had that long one down the sideline with Demo. He's going to catch that next time. And we know that. So those are great things for us. I think that we were so good in the running game and also so good more so in the red zone than anything else. With the football, I think that was really huge for us today. So that was an exciting night for sure.
Greg Bell.
Russ, what was most assuring by today for all that you guys accomplished coming off last week? What do you think you can take most valuably from this going forward?
I think the best thing that we can take one is, our mindset, being neutral, not being too high, too low. I think the second thing is I would say is like I said, just believe, I think that we know who we are. We know who we're capable of. We know what we can do. We're getting better. Sometimes it doesn't always feel like that along the way. I think back to all the years we've played here. I've been here for a long time. There's some moments in there that sometimes you're like, dang, how did we lose that game or how did we lose that moment? But it catapults you into the next moment and gets you ready for the next thing. And so, and so I think for us, the best thing we can do is stay high, high in our energy. It's tough. We don't have the fans. We don't get to feel them as much, as we normally do. So, we don't get to see people in the street as much when we drive around the city or whatever it may be. We as athletes, we feed off of that too a little bit, and so it's keeping everybody, staying focused on the mission, obviously staying healthy, and then also, preparing to be the best in the world. And there's a lot of great teams and things that we're trying to do, and it's not an easy mission. So I think the thing that we can take is we're always responsive. We're always responsive along the journey, and I think that's because of our mindset.
All right, two more for Russell, Jackie Montgomery, and then Ben Arthur.
Hey, Russ, you touched on it, but what was working so well for the run game today?
Well, I think that we were hitting the downhill runs. We were able to get first downs. Our run backs were physical. Our offensive line did a great job. I mean, I think about all five guys up front did a great job of just keeping our positive runs going. The key is not having any negative runs along the way, right? You don't want to have, -2, -3, or -1 yard runs. We kept getting 3, 4, and that's a key part in the running game, and it really helps us out. So I think that was a key part along the way.
Russ, you guys obviously got win number 9 today. With that victory, you're now the first quarterback in history to have a winning record in each of your first 9 seasons. What does it mean to you accomplishing that, like just that reputation you've established?
I think it means everything. I think the whole purpose of why we play, the whole purpose of why I wake up, the whole purpose of why I play this game is to win. Is to get up and help our team win. And I think that's super important. I think that's the number one important record. That and Super Bowls. We want to win Super Bowls too. So I think I'm grateful. Obviously having great teammates along the way. I think putting the work in. I love this game. Ben. I think spend so many hours. People only knew how many hours I spent on it. It's fascinating, how many times how many hours I spent on just taking care of my body, so I'm available every game and prepared with my performance team, or how much film I got to watch, and how many things you got to do. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. Nothing happens by accident, So the mentality that you got to bring every day, the mentality you got to bring in the offseason, the mentality you got to bring on the field when it's going your way, when it's not going your way, it's critical. It's critical to success, and I think that for me. Is remaining neutral, remaining believing in who I am and what I can do, and just obviously being available. Obviously, that's a key part of it. Just to be able to play, every game is a really important thing, and so you don't take that for granted. And I thank God every day. That's the end of the day for me. I thank God that He's given me this opportunity to play this game, the game I love, in a great city with amazing fans and teammates and all that. It's a blessing for sure, and so and I feel like it's just the beginning. So. Keep going.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, guys. Go Hawks.
Jackie Montgomery.
Hey, Jamal, to get that sack today and set the record, the all-time record for most sacks by a DB, what does that mean to you, and also getting the game ball today?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling, when you put your mind to something. Because I told myself and I told everybody last year when I did fail with 6.5 sacks, got hurt obviously, and I told everybody I was going to break the record. Some people thought I was crazy. Some people believed in me. But the only thing that mattered is that I believed in myself. And I knew that I was going to break the record. And without my teammates, without the coaches, nothing would have been possible, right? And all my, my thanks goes to the man above. Because I've been through a lot this year with the trade and injuries. A lot of negative talk about me, but at the end of the day, I have an outstanding team, outstanding group of teammates, outstanding group of coaches, PR, everybody. So everybody's just supporting me. On my bad days, they're lifting me up, vice versa, or whatever the case may be. It's just one big family, and all glory goes to God and my teammates in the organization.
John Boyle.
Yeah, Jamal, I don't know if Pete mentioned this or you've noticed it, but he said they pretty much never do game balls after games. So for you to get one, what does that mean?
Yeah, that was pretty cool, just to receive that. But again, that just shows the class of this organization and how much they support me and vice versa. We're all in it together, right? And when someone does or achieves something, pretty big, makes history, we always show love to that person because, we play this game and the game that we love it's not always promised, and we don't know when our last, game or play is going to be. It's a short window. So we have to maximize every opportunity that we get when we're on the field. That goes to show dropping a pick, golly, I suck. That was horrible. But you got to capitalize on the opportunities when they come.
Joe Fan.
Jamal, was there everything you expected in terms of getting to see some old teammates, shaking hands, giving hugs, seeing guys you maybe hadn't seen in a while? Did you enjoy that part of it as much as you thought, and the banter back and forth as well?
Yeah. Throughout the whole week, man, just leading up to it, I wanted to stay very calm. I didn't want to, express too many feelings and whatnot. But when I woke up this morning, man, I was so excited. Honestly, I want to say it was Saturday. Right before I had to go back, before I had to go to the hotel and check in, I seen the guys, or it was Friday, I'm sorry. I seen the guys from my building, pulling in on the buses, and they were staying at the Marriott, and a couple of guys, hit me up and whatnot. I was really excited to see those guys because, when you get drafted, you don't take that for granted, right? I've always prided myself on my work ethic and the sacrifice that I always, give. Just to know that those guys took a chance on me and drafted me at a very, as a top 10 pick, right? And giving me a chance and believing in me. I don't take that for granted, and I'll never take that away from them. So I appreciate the Jets organization for taking a chance on me. And I'll never forget the memories that I did, have, and what we made over there. So seeing those guys, seeing the coaches, seeing Justice, the weight guys, and Ezron and Dave. Seeing so many guys, it just brings back, a lot of memories because I do miss those guys, right? And this is bigger than football. It goes back to just relationships. That's the special thing and the beautiful thing about the game of football.
Curtis Crabtree.
Hey, Jamal, I asked KJ the same sort of question too, but you guys always had the faith that you would get better as the season comes along here. But at mid-season, you guys were on pace to allow the most yards ever passing in league history and all that. To come to where you are now off the 4 or 5 games you guys have put together, how big of a stride is that for you, and how big of a boost has that been for you guys on defense?
Right, yeah, so we knew, throughout the whole year, we knew we had talent. and we knew we just had to, put it together. We had to communicate. We have to execute as a team, as a unit, should I say. And we knew once we did that, we could be special. And we're only getting better, man. So as long as we continue to, practice our tail off and continue to listen to coaching, continue to, feed off one another, bring the energy, bring the juice, play with confidence, play with swagger, man, we can be really, really special. And I think we're hitting our stride at the right time.
Connor Hughes, The Athletic, New York.
Yeah, Jamal, I was wondering, we were just talking to Adam, and he said that you guys were able to see each other after the game. He said you guys hugged. I was just wondering what that moment was like, if you guys said anything to each other, and kind of what was said between the two of you.
Yeah, he just told me, go get you one. He was talking about a Super Bowl. And a lot of the guys came up to us, and, I don't want to blow our guy's head up or myself, which I'm not, but, they were just saying, we got a great team, right? And we've always believed in that. But he just, just congratulated me and wished me well, told me to stay healthy. And, it's pretty cool, man. At the end of the day, man, I'll say it, I don't have any hate towards, not even just Gase, to the organization. Everybody just had different views, and we had to move different. We had to take a different leap, and obviously the trade happened, and I'm happy to be here, man. So I wish those guys nothing but the best. I really do. I mean that. I know a lot of the Jet fans don't really think I'm coming from the heart, but I really am. I'm thankful for my time over there because I don't take it for granted. Those guys, helped me in so many ways. Denard Wilson, I give my credit to him in so many ways. Just helping me become the player I am today. Playing with Marcus May, I'm not happy that he got a pick out there, but when I seen him make the pick, I definitely saluted him because that's my guy, man. And there's so many guys over there I can name. So hats off to him. Those guys got to keep battling, and eventually they'll figure it out. So it's nothing but love from my way, man.
Mark Cannizzaro, New York Post.
Hey, Jamal, congratulations on the sack thing. I just wonder, when you look at what's taking place over there, and I know you're tight with Marcus and a number of the other guys, do you have any sense of empathy for, what's your emotion when you see them 0-13, maybe on the way to, making history the wrong way? I just wonder what your emotion is that way.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I would be lying to you if I sat here and I didn't sit on that sideline and I just kind of shook my head, and because I know how hard those guys work, because I've been with them for 3 years. I every day at practice, every day in the weight room, workouts, on the field. I know what type of team that is. I know what type of guys they have over there, and it's a lot of frustration, obviously. And I hope they get it right. And I know some of the guys are, frustrated. Really, everybody's over there. They're pretty frustrated, and you just got to keep going, man. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I always, as long as you put your faith in God, you'll figure it out. And He's gonna always. This dude's a clown. I'm sorry. Dunlap is coming in here acting a fool, ruining the interview. As long as you put your faith in God, man, he's gonna walk life. He's gonna walk life with you. And, the storm is never gonna last. And, I do feel for those guys over there because I know how hard they work, just to answer your question.
Thank you, Jamal.
Yep.
AJ McCord.
Hey, Jamal, so one of the things that KJ said is that the accountability among the defense has really stepped up in the last couple of weeks through those meetings, and that everyone's buying in a little bit more each week because they see the results each week. How have you seen this improvement over the last 4 weeks, and do you attribute it to those meetings?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, guys just don't want to be the one, right? And you don't want to be the guy that's making a mistake. I'm not going to name his name, but there was one play in particular I remember from the game. He got so mad at himself because he didn't do something right? And a play kind of happened. But I told him, man, it's okay. But guys just don't want to be that guy. They don't want to be the guy to let the team down. And that shows the character, right? And that shows the accountability like you talked about. And we just want to hold ourselves to a different standard because we have a lot of talent. We just wanted to put it all together and display it.
Thank you.
Michael Sean Dugar and then Brady Henderson.
Hey, Jamal, first off, that's one hell of a scarf, man. That's nice.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Second thing, what specifically are you seeing from the defense that makes you confident you guys can play like this against teams that are better than, what the Jets are putting out there?
Yeah, it's just the confidence, man. It's the confidence and swagger. It's the execution. It's the accountability, like we talked about. And you just gotta know when you step on the field that you're prepared. As long as you prepare through the week, you understand when you go out there, you know what you're going to put out there, right? What you're going to put on film, because your film speaks for itself. And as long as we keep doing what we're doing, and which I know we will, because we have a lot of leaders on this team that is going to hold everybody accountable. And we just want to be great, man. We're shooting for one goal. And obviously everybody knows what that goal is, but it's one step at a time. It's 1 week at a time. It's one game at a time. We don't take opponents light. Each week is the same. We prepare the same. We just got to go out there and execute, and we have enough talent to do that.
Thanks.
Hey, Jamal, I'm curious, when did you realize today that you had the sack record? Was it right away? 'Cause that wasn't
I did not know. I did not know. That's the crazy part. I'll be honest, man, like, I was going to do the Warren Sapp dance, right? Just to break the record. And all I hear is, Pete's son on the sideline when I chased Sam down was like, that's a sack, that's a sack, that's a sack. And I'm like, all right, next play. But then I came to the sideline and realized, like, oh, okay, I really did break the record. Not really my ideal of how I wanted to break it, but God is good, man. God is so good. I've faced, like I said, I've faced so many obstacles, and I've failed so many times. And when you fail, you realize that, you needed that for the perseverance, and you needed that for faith. And I gained that. I gained that, and my faith is only getting stronger. And without him, I'm nothing. So those plays I make on the field, that's all the glory to God. So I'm just out there just to give it back to him, man, because he's blessed me in so many ways.
And where's the game ball going?
It's going back home, man. The game ball is definitely going back home in Dallas. I have a perfect spot for it. I kept my cleats, I kept my jersey, my pants, all of that. So I'm excited, man. It really hasn't hit me yet that I broke it. But really, I'm trying to shatter it, to be real with you, man. So this is just a start. It's not the finish, man. The marathon continues.
Thanks, Jamal.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you.